So if we get a good sense of where we are broadly from an employee engagement standpoint, how do we move the needle in the direction we want it to go? I mean, I guess there's really two pieces there. I would suspect, to your point, when you're looking at employee engagement, you're going to have an average, and the average is less important than where the business units or the groups where it's below average.
Right.
So if we know that we're going to find somebody who's not average, some groups, how do we try to move the needle in more of a positive direction? Or if the overall average isn't where we want it to be, how do we move the entire workforce in a more positive direction?
Yeah. Well, I think that's, it's sort of coming back to that, sort of blurring the lines between policy and training and thinking about, sort of what are the strategies that really help us ensure that we're improving on that particular baseline, right? So, whether it be sort of targeted training and communication strategies, whether, it might be thinking about, how we rewrite the policy. A lot of the times it's foundational to the fact that if people don't understand the policy, then, sort of everything starts off on the wrong foot. And so in order to sort of move the needle in that direction, we need to make sure that, everything from the bottom up has great alignment for that particular goal of moving the needle. But I think sort of coming back to a topic that we talked about earlier, sort of the tone from the top and sort of influence from other parts of the organization, that's extremely important to provide that balance. That it's not just you guys were below average and therefore you need to catch up.
Right, change.
Yeah, you need to change what you're doing to, more of, how can we all improve, right? And how can we all sort of carry that forward? You'll always have someone that's, below the average. That's why we have averages. But, how do we make sure that as we move that average up, that someone doesn't get, even more left behind than they are today?
Right.
And hopefully you close that gap and whoever's sort of got a larger deficit can catch up a little bit and make up some of that effort. But at the same time, you want to really move the entire organization forward and make it more of a positive feeling that we're all driving for improvement. That we're trying to get better. We want to be better than our competitors. We want to be better than the market average out there. So how do we sort of push against those particular efforts?